Well, I was looking for something that would give me some more practice management skills, and the LPP program seemed like something that was completely new and innovative in legal education, so I thought it would be a good path to start my career.
I think that my most memorable experience in the LPP was at the end when we got to do the direct and cross-examinations in the courthouse.
Amanda, our candidate, she was fabulous. We understood that having practical work training prior to your articles could only help, but we didn't really expect it to assist to the extent it did. And certainly, we were pleasantly surprised that to a great extent, Amanda was able to hit the ground running. We were able to get her involved in a lot of different things. I had her draft a non-disclosure agreement, which are fairly straightforward. And I was actually commenting on the non-disclosure agreement and how certain legal drafting is a sort of a kind of archaic Shakespearean language that we all use. It was really surprising to me because I would suggest changes to her, and she would come back and say, "Well, this is why I drafted it the way I did." Where you're not used to that with articling students, and she was actually making some really valid points. So I think that was, for me, probably my most memorable thing. Wow, she's really put some thought into this.
I found that just working at RBC was a really great experience. I couldn't have, found this position on my own, and the fact that my supervisors also acted as mentors during my time there was very beneficial.
I think that a skill that I was able to develop pretty well during my experience at the LPP was being able to take the research component and apply it in whatever the circumstances may have been. So whether it be in a teamwork setting or on an individual basis, I was able to take the information that I had gleaned through my research and apply it to whatever the circumstances were.
One skill or tool that I acquired during the LPP, teamwork. I had a great team. I learned to lean on their strengths, and I learned to leverage on their strength and to work in a team extremely well.
Final assessment that we did for our family law assessment, we were negotiating our client, who was the mother, a parenting plan that would work for both the parents and for the child's best interest. And I think that was one of the most interesting aspects of our training program, because we were actually dealing with something that could be real.
Feeling part of a team when I realized that my work was actually being used to make policy decisions. So I really felt that I was making a difference.
I completed my LPP work placement with Rary Law Firm. My first week, I got to see a full, real family trial. And then I saw so many of the things that the LPP had been teaching us. And I really was like, wow, I know all this. I can do better than some of this.
I completed my LPP with the city of Hamilton. I didn't quite like business that much, business law type of things. But of course, we were forced, to do a good work at it during the LPP. And then when I got to my placement, that was the very first assignment that I got. So when they talked about, non-disclosure agreement, I've already done that in LPP.
My most memorable experience with my work placement was getting to shadow with the judges at the small claims court. And I actually got to do a draft judgment for a judge.
The LPP program has been wonderful. I adore the candidate that we had, Josh. He was absolutely amazing, very high caliber. I find that the practical training that he's getting here is affording him amazing experience, and we as an organization really reap the benefit of having him here as well.
The firm experience is very unique. At first, I didn't know if it would actually work out the way I had envisioned it. I imagined that I'd be working by myself, and I didn't really see the purpose of having other group members. But then as we progressed into the actual program, I realized that it was almost essential to my development and growth, because we would take documents and work on them in tandem. We blackline it, send it to each other, and we get a more refined piece of work.
With the work placement, I feel a significant experience was being able to go firsthand to the courts and tribunals, the opportunity of preparing for a particular case and coming into the morning of when a case is about to start and finding that there's something that you just didn't prepare for. It gets the adrenaline going, and it really is a great tool to develop to start in a litigation, as well as any other area of law that you want to just be able to apply those kind of on-the-spot opportunity of expressing yourself as a lawyer.
Being at a sole practitioner's, I got exposed to a lot of aspects of a litigation file, and for me the most was dealing with clients, meeting them in person, listening to them, helping them in whatever capacity I could with my principal's advice and authorization. That was one of my most interesting and memorable experiences.
A particularly memorable moment from the training component was the opportunity to participate in the civil litigation trial and the criminal trial, where we did a direct and cross-examination. It was my first time doing any courtroom experience, and it was nerve-wracking, but it was rewarding.
Well, I think the beauty of a place like ours, in a smaller working environment, but at the same time a legal department that is so integrated with the business group, is that every day is different. There's always challenges that come up, and I mean there were lots of memorable moments, but I think one in particular was when our LPP student was thrown into the middle of a trial and was required to take the lead on it when she had not been expecting to do so. And it was really thinking on her feet, being able to put all the information that she had received over the last few weeks preparing together, and she did an outstanding job, and she was victorious at the end of the day.
So my suggestion for the incoming candidates would be, number one, it's going to be difficult for you to combine working full-time hours with the program. It's quite rigorous, and I'm not exaggerating when I tell you it was rigorous, okay? And another thing is you have to take it seriously. All the assignments you're given, don't just do it so as to satisfy the demands of LPP people. Do it and learn from it, because it matters a lot to your placement.
Embrace the experience. Even if it's something that's not part of what you expected law to be, or like your core area of concentration, there's always transferable skills. So it's really important to really embrace those experiences and learn from them.
Chris always says, you're gonna land running. You are gonna land running.
I would say go for it, for sure. This was one of the most nerve-wracking decisions that I took, and it was the most fulfilling experience I had in my 10 years of education that I have undergone.
I'm very happy I took this risk. I really didn't know what I was getting myself into, and I think that they did a really good job in creating a program that helps people from around the world who maybe didn't go to law school in Ontario and aren't too familiar with where to begin looking for articling positions. So this is a very good alternative, and the quality of the people involved is really great, and there's some really good networking opportunities too in the program, so it's definitely something to consider.